Hey, how about you, everybody? Welcome into a special episode of Auburn Live Plus. I'm your host, Jeffrey Lee, Senior Recruiting Editor. For Auburn Live on 3, we have a special episode today. Joining me is the new Special Teams Coordinator, Mr. Chad Lunsford. Chad, welcome back to Auburn, big dog.
Thank you. Very excited to be back. Love Auburn, and glad to have my family moving up here as well. And we're excited to be here.
Chad, for all those, for all of you that don't know, Chad, I think this is your third head coach at Auburn working under.
I was under Coach Chiswick, Coach Malzahn, and now Coach Freeze. That'd be 3. Yes, sir.
Chad was the director of player personnel when Gene Chiswick, if you remember the start of the Tiger Prowl, the start of Big Cat, Trooper Taylor, Tommy Thigpen, Curtis Looper, those top 5 recruiting classes. Chad was helped direct some of that, director of scouting as well, if I'm not mistaken, Chad.
Yeah, that was a small part. It was really awesome staff that did a tremendous job of really getting us out there and really getting it, getting great players here. And, it was a fun time. So was very excited to be a small part of it.
Where is your national championship ring?
It is in my office.
Is it really?
Yeah.
You ever rock it when you go out?
I don't wear it much. I really like to put it on display, and then when people stop by and see it, they may put it on. It's a
Well,
little
Chad,
it's a little big, it's a little
it
big. It's a
is,
little
isn't
big
it?
to
I have
wear.
seen it.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, Talk about your journey from Auburn back to Auburn. You left, I believe, in 2013, went to Georgia Southern, kind of your neck of the woods, right? I think you were raised over in Southern Georgia, Elberton, maybe?
Yeah, so Elberton's northeast Georgia.
That's what I said.
But yeah, I've been a Georgia boy for a long time, and when I left Auburn, I had the opportunity to be an on the field coach at Georgia Southern. And spent really, other than the last 3 years, spent my whole time in Statesboro. Got over there summer of 13. I believe my last day actually was Big Cat Weekend in 2013. And so went to Georgia Southern, and that was a very fun, experience for me. I had been at Georgia Southern before, but I went back as the wide receivers coach, recruiting coordinator, and worked under Coach Jeff Monken for a year. And then he took a job at Army. I ended up staying at Georgia Southern with Coach Willie Fritz.
Oh, yeah.
Was tight end coach, recruiting coordinator for him for 2 years. He then went to Tulane, and at that time, trying to make a decision whether I was going to go to Tulane or see who was going to get the head job at Georgia Southern. And Coach Tyson Summers ended up getting the head job at Georgia Southern. He asked me to stay. At that point, I was a tight ends coach. I became special teams coordinator. Also got to be the assistant head coach at that time. And for a couple years there, we struggled a little bit at Southern, and think changes got made. And at that time, I had probably worn a lot of different hats at Georgia Southern, got know a lot of people, and they gave me the opportunity to be the head football coach there, and became the head football coach formally in 2018, and was the head coach through the 2021 season. And we had some success. We went to 3 straight bowl games. We were 2-1 in bowl games, competed for the Sun Belt Championship, and had some good players that really made some big plays for us. And anyway, after that, I went to Florida Atlantic University as the tight ends coach, special teams coordinator. Worked under Coach Willie Taggart, and then Coach Tom Herman, who got the job there, and actually ended up finishing up the last 2 games at Florida Atlantic this past season as the interim head coach.
Auburn fans, you were with a familiar name to them while at Florida Atlantic, and there was and we talked to Rock about this. Rock Bellantonio, who we love. Rock's on his second stint at Auburn.
Right.
Rock if I'm not mistaken, Chad Rock as a defensive coordinator, he was kind of the scapegoat there for a little bit. They fired Rock. The head coach gets fired. You get promoted. You hire Rock back. Is that right?
So yeah, it's kind of a unique story. Coach Rock did he got let go, and then the next week the head coach got let go. They named me the interim head coach, and the first thing I did was rehire Rock. And Rock is, uh, one of my really good friends. We got to work together at FAU for a couple years, and but I didn't hire him back because he was my friend, but I hired him back because he was a really good football coach, and that football team had a lot of respect for him, and I just thought it was the right thing to do.
So Rock gets named new edge coach, the new Bucks coach at Auburn, and maybe a week or two later is when you come in.
It was probably a little bit longer than that. I don't know the exact timeline,
Yeah, I was
but
hunting. I was hunting during that
I
time.
I know I'd have to go back and look exactly when Rock was hired, but I knew that there was an opening at Auburn for the special teams job, and Rock, thankful for him. He brought my name up, and Coach Freeze, listened, and I got an opportunity to interview for the job, and so definitely owe Rock a lot. I mean, he just, I feel like the last 2 years at FAU, we've grown to respect one another, and I just felt very grateful that he felt like I could be a good fit here.
Rock is about as good as they get, man. He is. You know how long I've been doing this, Chad, and met many a coaches, and he is, if not at the top, he's pretty damn close to being one of my all-time favorites.
Absolutely.
Um, so special teams, you've got a revamped room. How have you had chance to really dissect your room to see what you've got, what you're working with going into spring? I think you guys will start kind of doing some walkthroughs this week. How do you feel about your room? Do you know a lot about it, Chad? And kind of how do you feel about it?
I think it's a very talented room. I don't know if I have a really good feel yet of actually seeing in person, but I've watched a lot of film, and then we've had some opportunities to work a little bit before spring ball started. And I think we've got a room full of guys that want to compete. I've been blessed to have some really good special teams players throughout my career. And, just the little bit I've watched right now, I think we got some workers, and I think we got some guys that want to compete. And more importantly, I think we got good people in the room. Like, I think they care about Auburn, and they want to see Auburn successful. And, they're ready to try to make a difference.
Chad, I think it was 2016, 2017. You were Frank Broyles assistant coach of the year nominee for special teams. Your unit there at Georgia Southern was very aggressive. I think y'all had 7 or 8 blocks that year. Is that how you coach your unit? Is that something, or does it, or is it more tailored to what you have, how you're going to go about attacking or not attacking? You got a lot of talent back in the return position. How do you? I mean, is that something your style? Are you more of an aggressive guy when it comes to blocking kicks, going after things?
I think it's important that, and I've talked a lot to our team in our special teams meetings about being game changers and trying to change the game. But also too, I think it's important to understand that, our job on special teams is to make sure we're helping the offense and the defense. And obviously a lot of the decisions about how aggressive you get, has to jive with each side of the ball. And obviously, Coach Freeze is the ultimate decision maker
Sure.
on what's going to happen. But after spending time interviewing with Coach Freeze, and he's been really awesome, and he wants us to be really good on special teams. And so I expect us to be an aggressive aggressive team. You know, a lot of that's got to do with who your returners are, who your you know, who your personnel is, and all that type of stuff. But the little bit I've been around so far, I think, you know, the roster has really been, you know, I haven't been here, but I think from what I've seen, there's some tremendous upgrades with team speed, and you know, if you can identify guys that can go block kicks, you definitely want to be able to go after them and try to go get them. If you identify, hey, you got a great returner, well, then you want to, you know, you want to get that return game going. So, you know, a lot of things to figure out this spring, but the talent that I've seen so far, I just think there's guys that really can make plays on special teams for us.
The one person on the staff who benefits maybe the most, and this is just a theory of mine, when it comes to top 10 classes, which Auburn and Hugh Freeze have put together, I think three now, maybe the last two. I think his first one was top 15. But when you get all that young talent in, you can't just throw them out there, the ones and the twos on offense and defense. Typically, they get their start on special teams. So having all that talent on special teams, you would think, at least on paper, you know, Auburn's going to be successful on special teams. I felt like last year they weren't. But well, I am excited to see what you guys do with them, Chad. Finally, Chad, you're tell us about yourself. You're married, got three kids, I believe.
That's right. I'm married to Tippy. She's from Macon, Georgia. Let's see, it's we've been married now 23 years. In June, so you know, it's been quite a journey, and we have three kids, and the kind of the cool thing about it is my oldest daughter, she's 18, and my son, my middle son, he is 16, and my youngest daughter is 13. I believe I got this right, but when we left Auburn, they were 5, 4, and 1 at the time, and you know, they have no recollection, very little recollection of
Sure.
Auburn, and so they're excited to really see what it's about. And you know, they grew up in Statesboro, Georgia, and you know, and then now they've had a little bit of fun in Boca Raton with FAU, but they are excited about coming to Auburn. We've told them so many stories, and the great thing is, you know, my wife and I, you know, we still have connections in Auburn with different people, and so it's not like that normal move where you go and you don't know anybody.
Sure.
And you know, I think our kids are really fired up about that.
And you know your way around town. Were they
Yeah,
born
now
here?
I'll say this, man. This
Yeah.
this town has changed a lot since I've been here, and you know, things are starting to come back to me. But at first, I was like, "Wow, man, this is so much different." But just, you know, kind of test of what Auburn's like, man. And you know, it's always growing, and people love it, and you know, people don't want to leave it. You know, so.
Did you say they were born here? Kind of a
Well, the first two were born in Georgia, but the last one was born here.
the
Yes,
baby.
the baby.
All right.
Yep.
Last thing, Chad, you don't have recruiting, you don't have football, you got free time. What is the one thing? What's your go to? Got some free time. What do you want to do?
And I'm probably the most boring dude there is, man. But I enjoy spending time with my family, and you know, we still got a house in Georgia, right below Savannah on it's called Sapelo Island, and that's kind of the place we like to get away to. Very you know, unique place, and so just spending time with the family, and going to hang out in one of our favorite places. But I'm very lucky, man. I got a place that I think is one of my favorite places, and now I get to live in one of my favorite places in Auburn. So we're gonna get to spend a lot of time here.
Two for two. Last question for real. Favorite Girl Scout cookie, Chad?
Oh man,
I'm putting the heater on you, big dog.
I'm gonna go Thin Mints.
Oh, that's all right. That's my number two.
Yeah, what's your number one?
Samoa's for the win.
Ah man, that.
All
All right, I'm gonna stick with Thin Mints, but
right, but Samoa's your number two.
definitely,
Okay,
definitely.
cool. All right, we'll go with that. We'll go with that.
Yeah.
Good stuff, Chad. Thank you so much for joining us, man. Really appreciate it. Wish you the best of luck. Can't wait to see you again.
All right, appreciate you, and War Eagle.
War Eagle, buddy.